The Viking Age, spanning from the late 700s to the early 1000s, often conjures images of fierce warriors hailing from Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. These seafaring Norsemen are renowned for their raids, explorations, and settlements across Europe. Their longships, with their iconic dragon-headed prows, became symbols of their far-reaching influence and adventurous spirit. But the Vikings traveled much further than most people realize. Their journeys took them across vast oceans and into uncharted territories far beyond the familiar shores of Scandinavia. Finland, situated near the heart of the Viking world, played a significant role during this era. Its strategic location made it a crucial point of contact and interaction for the Vikings. This video will delve into Finland's deep connection to the Vikings, shedding light on a lesser-known aspect of Viking history. We'll explore why Finland was so important to the Vikings, examining the bustling trade routes that linked these two cultures. The exchange of goods, ideas, and traditions between the Vikings and the Finns created a rich tapestry of cultural interactions. We'll also take a closer look at the fascinating archaeological discoveries that have been made in Finland. These artifacts provide invaluable insights into the daily lives, trade practices, and cultural exchanges of the Vikings and the Finns. Additionally, we'll learn about the possible battles that took place in Finland, examining the evidence of conflicts and the impact they had on both Viking and Finnish societies. Join us as we travel back in time to uncover the intriguing relationship between Finland and the Vikings. Through historical reenactments, expert interviews, and stunning visuals, we'll bring this untold story to life. Get ready for a captivating journey of trade, culture, and the enduring impact of the Vikings on Finland. This is a story of adventure, discovery, and the enduring legacy of the Viking Age. Finland's location was super important for its connection with the Vikings. Situated at the northern edge of Europe, Finland's strategic position made it a crucial link in the Viking trade network. The country's extensive coastline along the Baltic Sea provided numerous natural harbours which were ideal for Viking ships. These harbours allowed the Vikings to establish trade routes that connected Scandinavia with the vast resources of the East, including present-day Russia and beyond. On the edge of the Viking world, Finland had a special place. It wasn't just a remote outpost, it was a vital part of the Viking expansion. The dense forests and numerous lakes of Finland provided not only resources, but also natural protection, making it a safe haven for Viking explorers and traders. The Finnish landscape, with its rugged beauty, was both a challenge and an asset for the Vikings, who were skilled navigators and warriors. Its long coastlines and many rivers gave access to big trade routes across the Baltic Sea and into Russia. These waterways were the lifelines of Viking trade, allowing them to transport goods efficiently and safely. The rivers of Finland, such as the Kymi and the Vuoksi, were particularly important as they connected the interior of the country with the coast, facilitating the movement of goods and people. The Vikings used these routes to trade not only furs but also other valuable commodities like amber, honey, and wax. This made Finland a gateway between the Vikings' home and the resources of the East. The strategic location of Finland meant that it was a meeting point for different cultures and peoples. The Vikings, known for their seafaring prowess, used Finland as a base for their expeditions into the East, where they encountered and traded with various Slavic and Finno-Ugric tribes. This cultural exchange enriched both the Vikings and the local Finnish populations, leading to a blending of traditions and technologies. Finland had lots of furs like sable and ermine, which Vikings really wanted. The dense forests of Finland were home to a variety of fur-bearing animals, making it a prime hunting ground for the Vikings. Furs were highly valued in the Viking Age, not only for their warmth, but also as a status symbol. The Vikings traded these furs extensively, and they were in high demand across Europe, particularly among the nobility and wealthy merchants. These fancy furs were popular in Western Europe, used for the clothes of rich people. Luxurious furs from Finland were sought after by the elite in medieval Europe, who used them to adorn their garments and display their wealth. The trade in furs was a lucrative business for the Vikings, and it helped to establish Finland as an important player in the Viking trade network. The demand for these furs also led to the development of specialized hunting and trapping techniques, which were passed down through generations. Finland, as a supplier of these furs, became important in Viking trade. The fur trade was just one aspect of Finland's role in the Viking world. The country also provided other valuable resources such as timber and iron, which were essential for building ships and weapons. The Vikings established trading posts and settlements in Finland, which became hubs of economic activity. These settlements facilitated the exchange of goods and ideas, contributing to the prosperity of the region. The movement of goods and people through Finland changed the area, leaving a mark we can still see today. The legacy of the Viking presence in Finland is evident in the archaeological sites and historical landmarks that dot the landscape. These remnants of the past provide valuable insights into the lives of the Vikings and their interactions with the local populations. The influence of the Vikings can still be seen in Finnish culture, language, and traditions, making Finland an enduring part of the Viking world. Trading furs was a major part of the relationship between Finland and the Vikings. Finland's forests were full of animals with valuable fur, which the Vikings wanted. For Vikings, furs meant warmth but also showed wealth and status. Finnish trappers, good at hunting and trapping, gave the Vikings lots of these furs. The Vikings traded things like silver coins, weapons, jewelry, and other fancy items that the Finns liked. This exchange created a connection between the two cultures. The fur trade lasted for a long time, changing both Finland and the Vikings. It helped their economies, created cultural exchange, and affected many people around the Baltic Sea. Trading together led to cultural sharing between the Finns and the Vikings. This exchange wasn't just about goods, it was about ideas, traditions, and ways of life. The Finns and Vikings, through their interactions, began to understand and appreciate each other's cultures. This mutual respect and curiosity paved the way for a unique blend of traditions that would shape the region for centuries to come. Viking traders and explorers brought their language, beliefs, and ways of life, which slowly became part of Finnish society. The longships that docked on Finnish shores were not just vessels of trade, but carriers of culture. The Vikings introduced new agricultural techniques, storytelling traditions, and even their own mythology, which began to intertwine with Finnish legends. Archaeologists have found evidence that Finns started using some Viking clothes, jewelry, and weapons. These artifacts tell a story of adaptation and integration. The intricate designs of Viking jewelry, for instance, began to appear in Finnish craftsmanship, showcasing a blend of artistic influences. Weapons found in Finnish sites also indicate that the Vikings shared their advanced metalworking techniques with the Finns. Viking burial sites and settlements in Finland also show their influence. These sites are not just historical landmarks, but are windows into the past, revealing how the Vikings lived, worked, and died in a foreign land. The burial sites, with their unique grave goods, reflect a blend of Viking and Finnish burial customs, indicating a deep cultural exchange. These sites have given us artifacts that teach us about the Vikings who traveled to Finland. Museums today display these relics, offering a tangible connection to this fascinating period of history. Each artifact, whether a piece of jewelry, a weapon, or a tool, provides insights into the daily lives of the Vikings and their interactions with the Finns. Even the Finnish language has some words from Viking languages. This linguistic influence is a testament to the deep and lasting impact of the Viking presence in Finland. Words related to trade, navigation, and daily life were borrowed and adapted, enriching the Finnish vocabulary and reflecting the close ties between the two cultures. Historians still discuss how much Viking culture affected Finnish society. Debates continue in academic circles about the extent of this influence, with some arguing that it was profound and others suggesting it was more subtle. However, there is no denying that the Vikings left an indelible mark on Finnish history, shaping its cultural and social landscape in ways that are still evident today. But it's clear that the two cultures mixing left a lasting mark on Finland, making its traditions even richer. Today, Finnish celebrations often include elements that can be traced back to Viking times, from certain rituals to specific symbols. This blend of cultures has created a unique and vibrant heritage, showcasing the enduring legacy of the Viking-Finnish connection. In northern Finland, things weren't always peaceful between the Vikings and the Finns. The tough environment and the fierce local tribes sometimes led to fights. These weren't just about land or resources, they were also about who was in charge. The Vikings, strong warriors, met strong resistance from the Finns. This mix of cooperation and conflict shaped the history and culture of the area. Looking into Finland's Viking past, we see a place full of history and cultural exchange. The Vikings left their mark, not just by raiding, but through trade and settling down. Signs of their presence are all over Finland, waiting to be discovered. Finland was a major trading center during medieval times, thanks to the Viking trade routes. These routes connected the east and west, bringing goods, ideas, and people together. The busy trading centers were lively places with lots of cultural exchange. Northern Finland was where different cultures met during the Viking Age. Vikings met the Sami people and other northern tribes there, creating a mix of traditions. These meetings weren't always peaceful, but they were important for the region's history. Today, we can still see Finland's Viking heritage. From things archaeologists have found to cultural traditions, the Viking Age is still with us. This heritage shows how much the Vikings influence Finland's history and who they are today.